What internet marketing expert should you spend your valuable time listening to? Listen to someone who has over 20 years of web marketing experience and hundreds of website marketing success stories. That man is Aaron Sparks from Site Strategics. And this is Edge of the Web Radio.
All right, hey, designing your pages for conversion is a tricky job. It is a constant fight of what works and what doesn't. It's a never-ending process of testing, measuring, and making changes. If you're not doing this, you need to start, and we're going to talk about this today. So call to action today on the Edge. Thanks for swinging it back around and checking out Edge of the Web. And this is our final segment of the show here, and it was really a focus on again, the user experience, right? You need to be very mindful of what's happening on your website because Brian Eisenberg, okay, he is like the guru of conversion philosophy, and he wrote a book, Don't Make Me Think, and it's over 10 years old. It's a great book.
Did it make you think?
It did make me think.
Well, how'd that happen?
I don't know. It literally is a great. He actually said something just recently. He said, and we talked about I quote on the last show. Not all websites have traffic problems, but all websites have conversion problems. Sure. All right, and it's very, very astute because if you're not focusing on the flow, and there's so many analytic tools, there's so many measurement tools that make it so easy to see this. If you're not paying attention to it, you're stealing from yourself.
Yeah, but a lot of those tools, you still have to know what to look for. Right?
Absolutely.
Right? They're brilliant tools, but they don't tell you the answer, and that's where you need an agency.
Yeah, exactly. You need somebody who can interpret that. No, I get that, but just being able to track conversion percentages and then be able to change something easily on your form. If you have a form on your website, contact form, that is asking every question under the sun, enforcing people to do
I've
that
seen those.
Before they actually can submit, right? Making every field required.
I like the ones where you fill out like 42 fields and you click submit and it goes to a next page and it says error on one of your entries. And then you go back and it's all wiped out. You have to start all over again.
Oh,
I really love those. Yeah.
You know what? FormStack, a friend of the show.
Love those guys.
They're a great company. They actually have some great technology, and one of those pieces of technology is able to show you form field abandonment. They can actually show you what they started to fill in and where they stop and percentages of what field they stopped on. And you can start trimming and grooming your form, unlike your beard, Doug. That literally can improve the conversion into a much greater degree.
Hey, let me tell you something. This beard converts, buddy. You have to bring Sarah to every show just so I can make her laugh. That is the best laugh in the room.
That's not an enjoyable laugh. That's a very uncomfortable laugh. Yeah, he's still again.
I laugh, Tom turns red. It's a nice combo.
We came across an article from Rafael Tomal about some ideas of.
Can you get some tougher names for today's show? Didn't any Tom Smith write a book or article out there?
No, in fact, they actually all changed their name to convert highly. Yeah. You know, well, people love repeatable visual patterns. All right, and this is really getting into the psychographics of design, and that is actually a term, and there's an entire school of thought in that. People also quickly find any distractions from the well-defined pattern. And that also goes into design of content. And we talked about that last week, of grammar, of sentence structure, of layout of content. If it's too busy, too heavy, if your subconscious is actually getting irritated, or even your conscious and looking at a page and it's just too much to read, they're going to bail. They're going to jump off. We can use all that knowledge to get their attention. You know, the question is, how can you lead your visitors right into your call to action in a subtle way without being too annoying, like a big Matt ad, right? And screaming with exclamation marks, right? Like a big Matt ad. I'm going to leave that alone now.
That was a lot of Matt ads in one sentence.
Hey, every call to action wants some attention. So before you dive into talking about design of your website, you need to think about getting attention for a moment. All right. why do we even need to grab somebody's attention, and why is it so hard that you have to use some sort of visual tricks? Why? I mean, the purpose of most websites is to attract a target audience and call them to action, all right? The action can be an email sign-up, right? A social interaction, or a product purchase. Those are conventionally what conversions are. You know, of course, the action that you want people to take is usually not that attractive for first-time visitors, like we were talking about. They're not ready to buy.
Sure.
Right.
And you can't just invite people to the website by saying, come on in, sign up for your email newsletter, right? That won't convert well. So it is the content that attracts your target audience, and it can be a good sales page copy or blog posts or infographics or free ebooks. I mean, you name it. It can be a number of different things. Well, once you have them in, it's time now when you need to point them in a certain direction, the next level on your conversion funnel, and that's the entire concept right there. So getting somebody's attention by calling them to take an action is hard. The bigger commitment is to make, the harder it is to convert. A smaller commitment of taking them through a couple steps that doesn't pose a threat to them that they got to reveal their email, right, is actually a persuasion point. Asking people to sign up for your email newsletter in exchange for a free piece of valuable content is a lot easier than just asking them to pay for something. So you got to think through these call to actions. You know, I'm not going to be doing any level of credit to this entire article, but it is about visual patterns. And go check the article online. It's really cool.
I'll give you a quickie.
What's that?
People look to the top of the right of a screen for contacts.
Absolutely.
Every time. There's a visual.
You need to also look at the grids of your website, your design, and interrupt their scanning of a site into the conversion point that you're asking them to do. If you park it along a particular grid line, right, they may not see it, but if you break up that visual acuity and get them into a space there where they have to pause and pay attention, there's an additional click-through path right there.